It is Wednesday, February 18, 2026, and you are listening to The Stack. I'm your host, and today we're looking at a world that is vibrating with the friction between tech's massive promises and the messy reality of implementation. From the quiet archives of a digital library to the roaring engines of the aerospace industry, the themes today are clear, privacy, accountability, and the long, slow climb toward the productivity gains we were promised. We've got a lot to cover, from Mark Zuckerberg's day in court to the latest breakthrough in medical science that could mean never needing a knee replacement again. Let's get into it. We start today with a reality check for the C-suite. A major study from the National Bureau of Economic Research, surveying over 6,000 executives globally, has revealed a striking disconnect. Despite billions in investment, AI has had almost no measurable impact on employment or productivity over the last 3 years. This is a return to the Solow paradox, named after economist Robert Solow, who famously remarked in 1987 that you could see the computer age everywhere except in the productivity statistics. While 2/3 of executives report using AI, most are only using it for about 90 minutes a week, suggesting we are still very much in the fiddling with it phase of the revolution. The Stack's take: we believe the real gains come when we stop looking for magics and start doing the hard work of redesigning workflows. History shows the boom follows the slump once the tools become invisible and the builders get to work. Speaking of tools that aren't quite invisible yet, Microsoft is dealing with a privacy headache. A bug in Microsoft 365 Copilot's Work tab has been incorrectly summarizing confidential emails, even when they carry sensitivity labels and are protected by data loss prevention policies. The AI assistant was essentially peeking into sent items and drafts that it was supposed to ignore, potentially exposing sensitive corporate secrets to any user asking for a summary of their day. Microsoft says a fix is rolling out, but for many IT departments, the damage to trust is already done. The Stack's take: trust is the most fragile component of any tech stack. And while bugs happen, the move fast and break things ethos doesn't work when you're handling a company's private correspondence. We need to see more secure by design thinking in AI features. The rush to integrate AI is also hitting the education sector with some troubling results. A recent investigation into AlphaSchool, a high-end private school charging up to $65,000 a year, found that its AI-powered lesson plans were frequently faulty and, according to internal documents, sometimes did more harm than good. Former employees described a system that scrapes data from other online courses without permission and generates content that teachers then have to frantically correct. It highlights a growing trend of AI washing in education, where the tech is prioritized over the pedagogical outcomes. The Stack's take: technology in the classroom should empower teachers, not replace them with unvetted algorithms. We owe it to the next generation of builders to ensure their foundations are built on facts, not hallucinations. On a broader scale, the way we verify who is actually behind a screen is changing, and it's raising eyebrows across the Atlantic. Major platforms like Reddit, Discord, and Roblox are increasingly requiring users, including those in the UK, to submit facial scans via a biometric ID system provided by a company called Persona. This move is driven by global government pressure for age verification, but the involvement of major investors like Peter Thiel has sparked concerns about the links between our social media identities and the wider surveillance and defense ecosystems. Organizations like the Open Rights Group are calling for non-biometric alternatives and more transparency about where this facial data actually ends up. The Stack's take: while protecting kids online is a vital goal, we should be wary of any system that turns the open web into a series of gated communities requiring a biometric passport. The early internet's spirit of pseudonymity is worth fighting for. This tension over identity and accountability is currently being tested in a Los Angeles courtroom. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg is testifying today in a landmark trial where lawyers argue that Instagram and other platforms were designed as digital casinos to intentionally hook young people, leading to a mental health crisis. The case is a test for a novel legal strategy, treating social media not just as a platform for speech, but as a defective product under liability laws, similar to a car with a faulty brake system. If the jury sides of the plaintiffs, it could strip away the long-standing legal protections of Section 230 and force a massive redesign of how social apps function. The Stack's take: we are finally having the adult conversation about the attention economies that should have happened a decade ago, and whatever the verdict, it's a clear signal that the era of building without considering social consequences is over. While we discuss digital safety, the cameras on our doorbells are also evolving into something more complex. The leaked emails from Ring's founder, Jamie Siminoff, show a vision for a feature called search parties that goes far beyond its official use of finding lost dogs. Siminoff suggested that the technology, which uses AI to link neighborhood cameras, could eventually be used to zero out crimes by tracking humans through facial recognition and community requests. This has reignited the debate over surveillance by proxy, where private companies and local police forces create a de facto dragnet across residential streets. The Stack's take: technology can make neighborhoods safer, but we have to be careful that our desire for security doesn't turn our communities into open-air prisons where every neighbor is a potential suspect. Moving from the sidewalk to the street, Tesla's Robotaxi fleet is facing its own set of challenges in Austin. Recent data submitted to the NHTSA suggests that Tesla's autonomous Model Is are crashing at a rate nearly 4 times higher than human drivers, with 14 crashes recorded since the service began last June. These aren't all high-speed collisions. Many involve backing into fixed objects or low-speed bumps with buses, but they contradict the narrative that the systems are already safer than people. Furthermore, Tesla's decision to redact incident narratives from public databases has led to accusations of a lack of transparency compared to rivals like Waymo. The Stack's take: we are huge fans of the self-driving future, but that future relies on radical transparency. If we want people to trust their lives to code, we need to be honest about the data, even when it's not flattering. In a more hopeful corner of the industry, Microsoft Research has announced a breakthrough that could solve our digital dark age problem. Project Silica is a working demonstration of a system that can etch data into small slabs of glass with a density of over a gigabit per cubic millimeter. Unlike magnetic hard drives or even high-end tape, these glass slabs are chemically and physically stable for up to 10,000 years, resistant to heat, moisture, and electromagnetic interference. It's a high-tech version of a stone tablet, using femtosecond lasers to create tiny 3D structures inside the glass that can be read back with a microscope. The Stack's take: this is the kind of long-term thinking we love, building tools today that ensure the knowledge and art of our civilization will still be readable by whoever is here 10 millennia from now. If we're going to be around for 10,000 years, we might need better knees, and Stanford Medicine has some incredible news on that front. Researchers have developed an injectable drug that can reprogram cells to regrow cartilage, offering a potential cure for osteoarthritis. By targeting a specific protein that acts as an aging regulator, the team was able to make cartilage cells in mice revert to a more youthful state and actually thicken the protective cushioning in their joints. Human trials are already looking at oral versions of the drug, which could eventually mean that joint replacements become a relic of the past. The Stack's take: this is biotechnology at its best, not just managing symptoms, but understanding the fundamental biology of aging to restore the human body's own ability to heal itself. Finally today, we're looking up. NASA has officially changed its policy to allow astronauts to bring their personal smartphones into space for the first time. The crew of the recently launched Crew 12 mission are currently heading to the International Space Station with their iPhones and Androids in their pockets. While they still won't have 5G bars on the lunar surface, they have to upload photos to the spacecraft's computer to send them back via satellite. The move is designed to let astronauts capture more personal moments and share their perspective of the stars more easily with the rest of us on Earth. The Stack's take: there's something beautifully human about the idea of an astronaut snapping a selfie to send home to their family. It reminds us that even as we push into the final frontier, we carry our connections and our humanity with us. The minds. And that is the Stack for February 18th, 2026. Whether you are building glass libraries for the next millennium or just trying to get your AI to summarize your emails correctly, thanks for being part of the conversation. Divine Maun, if you found today's show useful, share it with a friend who's curious about where this all is headed. I'm your host, and we'll be back tomorrow to look at the next layer of the tech world. Until then, keep building, keep tinkering, and stay curious.